Ever felt like you are completely surrounded, backed into a corner with no way out? I'm talking about those moments when the odds are so stacked against you, it feels like 100 to 1. Well, let me tell you a story about a king who faced exactly that, and how he built something incredible, a wall of faith. This is the story of King Hezekiah. Picture this. You are the leader of a small nation, Judah, and knocking on your door is the most terrifying, undefeated superpower of the ancient world, the Assyrian army. Their king, Sennacherib, isn't just powerful. He's arrogant. He has already conquered nation after nation, and now he has parked his massive army right outside your capital city, Jerusalem. The pressure is immense. Imagine the fear gripping your people. The Assyrians weren't just soldiers. They were masters of psychological warfare. They sent messengers who stood outside the city walls, shouting insults and threats in your people's own language so everyone could understand. They'd say things like, "Don't let Hezekiah fool you. No god of any nation has ever been able to save his people from me. What makes you think your God can save you?" They were trying to break their spirit, to make them believe that resistance was futile and surrender was the only option. This is a critical point when you're outnumbered. It's so easy to feel outmatched. The enemy, whether it's a person, a circumstance, a financial crisis, or a health scare, will always try to convince you of its overwhelming power. It will shout its credentials, list its victories, and magnify your weaknesses. The goal is to make you quit before the fight even begins. This is the first assault, the one against your mind. Hezekiah was in an impossible situation. From a purely military standpoint, he had no chance. The Assyrian army was a war machine. So, what did they do? This is where the story gets really good. Hezekiah had a choice to make. He could listen to the voice of fear, the voice of the enemy telling him it's over. He could surrender, try to negotiate, or just give in to despair. Many leaders would have. It was the logical thing to do. But Hezekiah made a different decision. He chose not to focus on the size of the army outside his walls, but on the greatness of the God he served. This is the foundation stone of the wall of faith. It's a conscious decision to shift your focus. Instead of staring at the giant, you turn and look at God. Here is what he did. When he received a threatening letter from the Assyrian king, a letter full of mockery and blasphemy, he didn't just read it and panic. He took that letter, went straight to the temple, and literally spread it out before God. This is such a powerful image. He was saying, "God, look at this. This isn't just my problem anymore. This is your problem. They aren't just mocking me, they're mocking you." And then he prayed. But this wasn't just any prayer. It wasn't a, "Oh, please help me, I'm so scared" kind of prayer. It was a prayer of faith. A prayer that declared who God is. He started by acknowledging God's power and sovereignty. He said, "Jehovah, the God of Israel, enthroned between the cherubim. You alone are God over all the kingdoms of the earth. You have made heaven and earth." He was reminding himself and declaring in the spiritual realm that the God he served was bigger than any earthly king, bigger than any army. He then presented the problem. Give ear, God, and hear. Open your eyes, God, and see. Listen to the word Sennacherib has sent to ridicule the living God. He wasn't hiding the problem. He was bringing it into the light of God's presence. And finally, he made his request, his call for deliverance. "Now, Jehovah our God, deliver us from his hand, so that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that you alone, Jehovah, are God." Notice the motive. It wasn't just about saving his own skin or his kingdom. It was about God's reputation. He wanted the world to see that his God was the one true God. This is the blueprint for building your own wall of faith. You're facing overwhelming pressure. You make a decision. You decide to trust God instead of your fear. Then, you take your problem, your threatening letter, be it a bill you can't pay, a bad diagnosis, a broken relationship, and you spread it out before God. You acknowledge who he is. You present the problem honestly, and you ask for deliverance for his glory. Each one of these steps is a stone you place in your wall. So what happened? Did God send reinforcements? Did another army come to help? No. What happened next was purely supernatural. God responded to Hezekiah's prayer. He sent the prophet Isaiah with a message for the king, essentially saying, "I've heard you, and because of the Assyrian king's arrogance, and because he has mocked me, I will deal with him." That very night, the story tells us that the angel of the God went out and struck down 185,000 soldiers in the Assyrian camp. 185,000. The next morning, the remaining Assyrians woke up to find their mighty army decimated. There was no battle, not a single sword lifted by Hezekiah's men. The enemy that had seemed invincible was defeated overnight by the hand of God. King Sennacherib packed up what was left of his army and went home in disgrace, where he was later assassinated. The victory was total, miraculous, and undeniable. It wasn't because Hezekiah was a brilliant military strategist or because his army was secretly stronger. It was because he chose to build a wall of faith instead of a wall of fear. He chose to believe that even when you are outnumbered, you are never outmatched when God is on your side. His faith created a barrier that the enemy could not penetrate. Now, let's bring this home to you and me. What is the Assyrian army laying siege to your life right now? What is that voice of doubt and fear shouting at you, telling you to give up? Maybe it's a mountain of debt. Maybe it's a struggle with anxiety or depression that feels all-consuming. Maybe it's a career that's stalled, or a dream that seems impossible. The enemy's tactics haven't changed. The goal is always to make the problem look bigger than your God, to isolate you and make you feel like you're all alone. But the story of Hezekiah is our story. It's a timeless reminder that our response to pressure determines our outcome. Here is your call to action. It's time to build your own wall of faith. Start by making a conscious decision right now. Decide that you will not let fear dictate your actions. Choose to focus on God's promises instead of the enemy's threats. Next, take that problem, that worry that keeps you up at night, and do what Hezekiah did. Write it down if you have to. Get specific. Then, take it to God in prayer. Spread it out before Him. Don't downplay it or pretend it's not there. Be honest. Tell Him exactly how you feel. Then, shift your language. Start declaring who God is. Remind yourself of His past faithfulness. Say, "God, you are the creator of the universe. You are the one who provides. You are my healer. You are my peace. Your words have power. Use them to build your faith, not to feed your fear." And finally, ask for deliverance. Not just for your own benefit, but so that His goodness and power can be seen in your life. Pray, "God, rescue me from this situation so that others can see your glory through my story." When you do this, you're not just hoping for a good outcome. You are actively participating with God. You are building a spiritual fortress around your heart and mind. That is your wall of faith. And just like with Hezekiah, when your faith is in the right place, you will see that no enemy, no matter how big, can stand against the power of our God. You may be outnumbered, but you will never be outmatched. Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that will help you build your faith and live a victorious life. See you next time.